because then he can just always retreat. Yeah, it's always. So I put this moving forward just to trigger the mine. And this is a really sloppy engagement, but it works out. It works out for me. Actually, I think this game just ends. This is a really anticlimactic game.
Yeah, if the option is too far behind, it'll take a really bad micro loser to actually lose this push.
Yeah, for sure. But this is generally what happened was he got really uncomfortable with the mutas back there, so he just wanted to push. And that's why, and I usually don't spend that much time babysitting my mutas. So I'll spend more time focusing on macro, creep spread. You'll notice my creep spread is not as good this game as usual, because I was focusing more on my mutas, and my fourth was a bit later. But just because, like, you adapt based on the map, and because, like, a lot of the time I still have defense here, and I can't get my mutas back here safely, and block turrets there or whatever. But since I did, I felt like you'd have to defend such a large area, because the entire back of these bases are exposed if your mutas back here. So, yeah, if he lined his back base with the Marines, the Marines back there.
Why do you take the forward fifth base? Like, I see a lot of reserves make their fifth base at the gold.
At the gold over here?
Yes.
Partially because I didn't have creep spread over there yet, and I always like having creep spread right on my bases. But partially, I feel like it can be harder to defend sometimes. Like, on most maps, I would recommend that, but on this map, generally, it's far enough away. Like, this base, while it is closer to the Terran, it's not a map where, like, it is a really far map. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It is a map where you have plenty of distance either way. So even if I take it there, like, in his bases here, that's still, like, farther than most maps, the push distance. And if I have it over at the right side of the gold base, I am very vulnerable to drops. Partially, I didn't have overlords out here. He did clean up my overlord with the Viking before I killed this Viking, and I didn't have vision over there. So if he gets a drop here, it's really uncomfortable to deal with as a Zerg, because he can just switch between my gold and my second natural, and it's really easy for him to jump back and forth there with the drops.
But you have a spine, so you can at least buy like maybe 3-4 seconds before the turn targets down.
Yeah, spine helps, but if the turn's paying attention, they can just drop somewhere else in the base. Like, they can drop here behind the gas, and they're not in range of the spine. They could drop here, and
that spire would be very exposed.
Yeah, like, spines, they're nice against Terran, but if the Terran's paying attention, they can just go around the spines. Sure, it'll give you like a second or two of extra travel time from the medevac, but it's never going to stop a drop by themselves. Like, you need like 5 spines to stop one drop if you don't want to bring anything back. You just need so much static defense, because Marines are so good against spines with the medevac. So I feel like spines and spores are more about delaying a drop from doing damage, because drops kill drones so fast if you're caught off guard. But with a spine, the Marines will automatically shoot the spine first, and if they want to go around the spine, it takes time. So it's really nice. I also had the spine anyways. It was for defending against his Hellion attack at the start, and it was at the ramp. So I just moved it there anyways. Usually I wouldn't make a spine there, unless I did take the gold base. If I did take the gold base, though, I do make more static defense in my natural, just because it's an easy target for them. Like, they do a push over here, like way over here. They do a rally push over here, and they drop over here. And it's really far apart. So I sometimes do like taking my fifth there.
Do you think Intense made too many turrets earlier on, because he made like 7 turrets very early on?
Some of its turrets were questionable, especially like this one. That wasn't a very useful turret.
Yeah.
But he
I've
did
seen
have
turrets defend with like 4 turrets versus 2 beast muta, but 7 seems a bit excessive.
Yes, and it goes back to him doing the Hellwet push again. Like, if he was doing a normal opening, he would have a lot more Marines. So he'd be a lot safer, or he'd have widow mines, and he'd have like an area where he's safer. But it does go back to that, and he was behind. He didn't have enough anti-air, so he did need to make more turrets. And also, this map, this map is very exposed, the main and the natural. They're very exposed by air. The entire back area is open, the entire front area is open, and you have to go all the way around like here to catch the mutas off guard, and that's just too far. Like, I'm never scared on this map. That's why I do like this map for 2-base muta. Like, this is the only really real map where I go 2-base muta against Terran. I just think it's quite strong on this map. Because you're 100% safe defending on the ramp, and it's so good for the mutas. But, he did make too many turrets. Well, compared to normal, and that is because he failed a help push. Same as last game. Like, everything is based on what happened earlier in the game. And yeah, he just kind of died here. G. I'm a 1G kind of player. I think someone else asked a question in the chat that I didn't get to, so could they repeat it?
Why did you pick your layer to be on the natural inside?
Oh yeah, that was it. That game, I think I took the layer there because I was going 2-base muta. Usually I just put it in my main base, but in case he got into the main base somehow with a Reaper, or like if he got Hellion run-bys or something, or even with that drop there, like he's more likely to see my main base than he is to see my natural. So I'm trying to hide something like a 2-base muta. I'd rather put it on a base that's harder for him to see. Even if maybe late game I would rather have the layer in my main base, because I'm more likely to lose that natural to a drop. But I only did that game so that he would have less chance of seeing it. Most of the time I would not put it in my natural.
Oh.
And on that map,
like a scan or something.
Yeah. And on that map, it is pretty safe to put it in your natural, because the only way they are going to be able to kill it is with a drop. Like, they're never going to kill your natural with a... Like, they have to kill your main first, so it's not a big deal. Anything else? How do you solve a 4-base turn is playing bio? 4-base bio is infinite units. 4-base bio, once they get 4-base, that's kind of the situation where you need to be getting into hive tech. I said earlier, like, you have two options. You can go into hive tech and ultras, and into broodlords or whatever, or you can go continue on layer tech, and you can go just stay 2-2 and do a lot of mutiling banding. In that case, you want to stop them from taking the fourth. So if you're staying on layer tech, once you defend their initial rally push, you want to be playing aggressive. Assuming you can stop their 2-base rally push, which is a big assumption, because turn is strong. But yeah, if they get to 4-base, that's generally a situation where you'd be going into 2-2 timing, even if they're not trying to take the fourth. Like, if you're staying on 2-base layer, it is good to do 2-2 timing. I think Life did a lot of those at BlizzCon last year. I'm pretty sure that was where I'm thinking. But yeah, a lot of players, if you are not getting your hive tech, you want to do a timing on 2-2 or something once you defend the rally push. But if they do have a 4th base, it's different, and it's harder to fight with mutiling banding because that's the time where they start getting Thors up. They get more widow mines, like they get the widow mine burrow upgrade. So you can't as easily fight with just mutas and stuff, and you need to go into ultras and then broodlords. Why will this? I don't think so. Last year I played, or 2 years ago now, time flies. I did play 3-3 mutiling banding. I think I did that at some big tournaments like WCS Europe Global Season Finals, WCS North America, like round of 8. And I did used to like playing like that, but that was before Terran started going Thors. They started going Thors with their bio pushes. And now they do like 3 Thors, and then you definitely need another type of unit to deal with that once they get Thors out, multiple Thors out. Transition out of meta for Infestor. I always like keeping a certain amount of mutas just to deal with drops. If you don't have any mutas, drops are really annoying.
I think Muta Ultra is really good.
Yeah, Muta Ultra is good, and you definitely should remake mutas if you lose all of them, just to deal with drops. But you do also want to go infestors. Like, if you get ultras out, sure you can do an attack. If they don't have marauders yet, but if they do, then you need to transition, and you can either go Brood Lords or infestors after that, and both are good. They both have their own pluses and minuses, and both together are obviously the dreaded Broodlord Infester, which all Terrans hate. Anything else? If you could convince Idra to come back to StarCraft 2. Not likely. Not likely.
Idra likes Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. Heroes of the
Idra
Storm.
likes her play a lot too. I saw him cast your whatever, and he was like, "Wow, she shouldn't have gotten out of that." Yeah. So.
That was IM Singapore 2013 when I was playing against Dream in the lower bracket match.
That game.
The
first game
that was
he
awesome.
The Polar Knight
Second game he played too defensive.
It was Polar Knight, then Antigua Shipyard, I think. Not Antigua Shipyard.
Metropolis.
Echelon Wastes.
The first time was Metropolis.
The first time I played him was on Red City, which was a map that was very rarely played in tournaments, in the Acer Team Strike Cup, and that was a really good 45-minute game. But at IM Singapore, I played him game 1 Frost. I just died straight away to the drops. Game 2 Polar Knight, I just somehow won the game with only mutas when I was so far behind. In game 3, it was Echelon Wastes. And he made 50 turrets that game because I made so many mutas the game before. I eventually won.
Broodlords.
Yeah, it was a pretty good 50-minute Broodlord game. I beat Bomber. I beat Bomber at Red Bull the week before. That was the famous game. But I did actually beat Bomber at IM Singapore the next week. Yeah, it was the match after, and he accidentally moved commanded his entire mecha army into Swarmhosts in game 3, and he was kind of sad after that. I'm gonna go soon, so last things. Korean food. I like Korean food. Do you mean before StarCraft stuff? Before I went to Korea? Or now? Oh yeah, I love Korean food. I actually make Korean food myself for most of the times I cook for myself, I make Korean food. I'm not vegetarian, but I don't eat red meat, so I don't eat beef or pork or lamb or any mammals. Just because
But you eat chicken, right? Like Korean fried chicken.
Yeah, chicken is. I just didn't grow up eating red meat, so I don't like the taste. It's not because I have anything against it. And yes, I love chicken. Fried chicken is good. Korean fried chicken is the best. Cast more, yes, I am going to cast a little bit more. Probably Homestory Cup coming up, and maybe occasionally on the base trade stream if he ever needs another co-caster because someone's missing. In control at Homestory Cup, yeah. But I'm going to be probably a host at Homestory 11 in a month from now, so that should be fun. Thanks everyone for having me. It was fun. I've never done something like this before, so it was kind of interesting. What were you gonna say? Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was different. I've never done a group thing before. So it's nice having everyone's chatting and questions. Yeah, everyone's so quiet. You don't have to be quiet. I've been talking all night.
I was keeping my mic on mute.
I think your coaching was really good, especially for our higher leagues. I think me and Shinobu benefited more than from Pig because I felt like he did more of an in-depth analysis than Pig did. We would try to focus on helping lower leagues.
Yeah, I generally focus on, well, especially with this, I like focusing on higher level stuff. It's different when I coach lower league players, of course, but if we're doing a thing with higher level players, I prefer talking about that sort of stuff.
That's me.
And
Lower league players should still be.
yeah, they should still be able to learn from the general concepts. It's just some of the stuff is not as applicable.
Yeah,
Like when I
not,
talk
not
about-
right away, but eventually they should still
Yeah.
remember it.
Eventually. Well, yeah, I don't teach as much builds and stuff. I still go over replay analysis with like lower league players, but I talk about a lot more general concepts than like specific strategy stuff, which is very different. But I'm about to say goodbye because my voice is a little bit sore after 3 hours. So if there's any last thing, say it now. Otherwise,
Do you
Bye-bye.
feel that
Well, thanks for
actions?
the extra hour.
yeah, no problem. What were you asking?
I was gonna say, do you feel that actions per minute are more important in Heart of the Swarm compared to Wings of Liberty? Because I have a buddy in real life who he was GM in Wings of Liberty, but his average actions per minute was like 90 or 100, but he would just crush people.
Yeah, it's probably more important Heart of the Swarm because it's not as standard and there's more fighting. Like Heart of the Swarm, like Liberty is a lot more about you'd follow build order and you do like 1 or 2 fights and the game would be over a lot of the time, especially later in Wings of Liberty. It's just how it happened. Like someone would do a model sentry, you defend or you don't. You go to Broodler Infester and you either die to a timing or you kill them when you get Broodler Infester. So it was more about like good builds and that sort of thing rather than microing a lot and microing engagements and multitasking. It was less of that and more about like builds and everything. So yeah, that's for sure. I do think you need more APM in general. Heart of the Swarm. Like I did not have microminding bathing properly in Wings of Liberty because against tanks most of the time you spread out your army and then you attack and there's very little micro as long as you spread out well.
But when you play Wings of Liberty from Heart of the Swarm, you realize Medivacs and Midas really sucked.
They're so slow. I know. So slow.
Just glad
Every
that they didn't give the
generation
Banshees. What?
The Banshees? Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't give them that huge.
Are they doing that in Legacy of the White still? I heard
No,
they
gonna be-
decided not
Last,
to.
last I heard, they didn't.
Okay. That would have been so annoying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for now. So bye
Right.
everyone. It was
You
fun.
have a good night. Eat easy.
Yeah, good
Bye,
night
Scar.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Did you guys have
Left your
fun?
channel.
Oh yeah. I think we all learned a lot.
Oh my
I
god,
know,
that was
I
so
learned
cool.
too much. Like, I gotta, yeah.
It's gonna take a second to soak it all in. It's still I'm gonna be like probably 3 weeks from now playing a game and like, oh yeah, Scarlett said this.
She gave us a free hour, too.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. I don't know. So, we already are gonna increase her wage for the next coaching. So, she'll be back. And just make sure you guys are here if you guys want to sit in again. And we'll try to make it more topical instead of like all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.